do have a test, and we do find that I don't know, they used to say the price of glory is high, but I'm not sure what they're saying right about now. I'm not sure about these days. But we have a test coming right up. Hi, everybody, and anybody that's hanging out for the test. And look who's here. It's Ronnie Man. Hi, Ronnie Man. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. And I do have a test, but I don't want to burn too many minutes. But I have another. I have a test and a nugget for this hour. So I guess I'll just share some of that and. I will say I'm doing this test in part because of the lag, the consistency and the lag that I've had, but I'm also seeing that other content creators are experiencing something similar, if not the same thing. So I'm going to put that to the test, and we'll do just a word of thanks to our friends. Hello, it's Anthony Shioli. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I want to give a word of thanks to the patrons, and we'll have a little bit of Twitch on a roll. And yes, let's test out a couple of things. And then I will also give you the nugget. It's a dark nugget at that. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Shioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back, right after this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll have a little bit of a Twitch on a roll. guys. Thanks so much for your patience. Thank you so much from Ronnie Mann and Melinda Ann Burns. You guys are the best. And yes, so I am doing a test, and I'm seeing the difference in the lag, but I think it's better on your guys' side than mine. So I am thankful for that. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys are doing well. And my disclaimer, I'm running out of days to talk about this disclaimer. So Twitch is available to you, and also you have about 48 hours. I guess you have about 48 hours, or a little less than 48 hours before your time on Periscope will be wrapping up. So just want to encourage you guys, if you haven't made the decision, if you haven't taken the plunge to come over to Twitch, it's still available for you. We'll continue the Twitch campaign because I think it's necessary. I think I'm not even sure what's going on. I think there may even be a broadband issue, or there's some type of maintenance, maybe even issue um, on YouTube right now, with because I think the lags are happening across the board. However, I'm going to continue with running the Twitch campaigns and giving the thanks. And I'll be right back. And I do have that dark nugget for you. I'll be right back. Nice to see you. It's been, I think it's, dare I say, a pre 2020 since I've seen you. It's nice to see you. So yeah, nice to see you. And Proverb Nation's here. Thank you guys so much. And it says no audio again. No audio again. I think that's a part of the lag. I think that's just give me a 1 if you get the sound now. Let's see. I'm not hearing. Okay, I hear it right now. So anytime you don't get the sound, if you guys could just plug a 2 in there, and I'll know automatically that there's no sound. Thank you for that, Anarchy Television, as I am failing the test on this end. But however, I want to do something else really quickly, and then I'm gonna bring in the dark nugget. We don't need darkness, but there's plenty of darkness around. So I'm just gonna go with it. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me back here with Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate it, Anarchy Television and Ronnie Mann. He says no unlike button. I appreciate it. And we're going to run this one. We're going to run this one, the censorship campaign, really quickly, and then we're going to get to the dark nugget. Thank you guys so much for your loyalty and your patience. I'll be right back. right, guys. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And let's go to the Dark Nugget. Hello, Awesome Alice is here. Thank you, Awesome Alice. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And yes, of course, if you haven't had an opportunity to hit our like button, I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you could feed our AI, it would be really helpful. So let's go with our dark nugget. I want to say this, I want to preface this by saying that, of course, this particular liner or story has gotten quite a bit of attention. I'm not going to burn too many minutes on it, but if you haven't heard of he's a rapper, the rapper Lil Nas X. I wish people would make sure that they put that whole put that whole thing together when they put that name out there, because it's Lil Nas X, not Nas. It's Lil Nas X. Okay, if you're not familiar with the personality or with any of his stardom or whatnot, I'm sure you are by now, or I'm sure you've associated his original tune or country, C for country, which that was pretty. When I think about the imagery on that album, which of course I didn't purchase it, I just saw it. It's quite. I think that that imagery was quite, for the lack of a better word, it was very childlike. It had a there was some innocence, quite a bit of innocence to the imagery used there, because there was a big letter C, the letter C for country, right? It's pretty, that was what I would say, that imagery, a kid could very well connect with or associate the letter C with the word country, or not C with the letter cat, it's going a little bit far there. But it's ironic that somebody that would put out that type of imagery, and to me, which also is associated with innocence, is associated with something much more, dare I say, much more sinister, or much more dark. And I use the word dark quite a bit. So it's like he went from projecting some type of purity or light, and now it seems to be he's he's projecting more darkness now. And I'm not afraid to say that. And many people, I'm stunned at the amount of people that are reacting to this kind of a thing. But I'm just stunned at the way that the amount of the lack of vision, or the lack of discernment that the masses have when it comes to the type of influences, whether they appear to be light or whether they appear to be dark from start to finish. I think it's typically what most, can I say, for the lack of a better word, dark what most darkness does. It's more about luring. I think it's this deception is more about luring, or being, it always comes off, innocent. It's very innocent, it's very light, it's very appealing, it's very addictive, it's very it's very provocative. The innocence can be, or purity, or for the lack of a better word, pure or innocence. It can be, I think you can be just as vulnerable if you're in with innocence as you are when you're dealing with something that's much more dark, or if you're being perverted, when things are confused. I tend to associate that with confusion, and the confusion leads to deception. So, with all of that said, I want to talk about I think you guys have seen it by now. I'm not going to play that particular video because it's very hard for me to watch that video with the nuggets that I saw prior to seeing more. I've seen different commentaries on it, but I haven't seen it in its entirety. But I've seen enough on the imagery to, to glean that it's of course it's a very dark, it's a dark agenda, it's a dark, and then I'm really stunned at the reaction. I don't know if I'm stunned at the reactions that people give. Oh, well, that's just artist. Oh, he's really coming into his own. Oh, that's just him. Oh, he found himself through all this darkness. I'm just thinking, uh, is everybody turned into mush, or all of a sudden people are open to such that there's a spectrum, the spectrum on anything is just acceptable. You guys want to call everything is art, or for the lack of a better word, everything's a spectrum. Everything can be a shade in between, and then up, everything can be in somewhere in between. It's not really gray, it's not really, you know, purple, it's not really red, it's not really blue. It's Yeah, of course, I don't want to go over the color spectrum here, but I I think people's minds are, I've said this before, I think people are under some type of spell, or and if you say anything, oh, people just don't get it. They don't get it. Oh, they take it too seriously. And just calling something for what it is taking something too seriously. Or I'm surprised they didn't say it was racist, not to be a fan of this particular tune, or the imagery. But of course, kids that were familiar with this personality, of course they're going to seek out his latest deal, his latest jingle. I'm going to call it jingle for the lack of a better. It's not even a jingle. It's more of a pan. It's very provocative. It's very lusty. It's very, yeah. It's, I don't know. I'm going into the damnation of Faust. Yeah, so it's anything but light. Okay, but I think, the other offense, I think people are finding, discovering some parallels, some historical parallels of the Black community, or even going further back than that. I'm not here to make those, to draw down those parallels. I'm not. I'm sure there are some. I'm sure there's plenty, but I think at the end of the day, it's still the parents' responsibility to monitor what's going on. Because I will say, as for example, Entertainment Tonight, I think from the clip that I saw, Entertainment Tonight did not even offer a disclaimer. There was no warning. There was no warning in their presentation of that video. It was just, I don't know who the host is of Entertainment Tonight, because I'm probably old school to you guys. But she just casually comes on. Lil Nas literally dances with the devil, and it was just the most casual, blase, indifferent kind of announcement to something like this. But there was no disclaimer. There was no parental advisement. There was no. It's just, there's no respect for people. There's no respect for innocence. There's no respect for people's conscience. And there was no. Do you guys remember back in the day? I don't know. I haven't bought a CD in a long time. Do you remember, even if you would see those rap CDs back in the day, they would say, "Oh, parental discretion is advised," or either, something along those lines. They at least gave the listener, and perhaps even the parent, the warning that there could be suggestive or provocative content here. But when Entertainment Tonight comes on, they just come on. I don't even know where they started with this clip that I saw, but it just went right to it. And I'm just thinking, what if somebody was actually, doing laundry, or their kids were doing homework or something, and all of a sudden this thing comes on. The parent had no time to turn this garbage off. I'm not even saying that people even watch regular cable TV anymore. I'm not even saying it. I'm saying that they didn't prepare anyone. You weren't prepared. And who was that in my stream just that said something about desensitized? They want you so desensitized, and they're going to achieve that. they're going to achieve they're going to achieve their agenda because people are desensitized. The children are desensitized. Nothing is stunning, nothing is surprising anymore. It just becomes some level of acceptance of just anything goes. Awesome Alice said, "Hello, Awesome Alice. Nice to have you in." And Joan 8003927. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. The rapper 10,000 says, plus he's dressed in pink. Yes, so there's just a ton. It's a loaded symbolism. It's fully loaded with symbolism. I'm just thinking, why wouldn't I don't even think that would be I would never say that Entertainment Tonight was a family friendly show, but I don't think that that was an appropriate. I wouldn't play that on Entertainment Tonight. I wouldn't. I because for one, I'm aware that children could be watching, or children could be getting ready for bed, or children could be running past the living room, or children could be sneaking down the stairs to see what's their last dig before they get in trouble because they're not in bed. So that's what I'm saying. I had a real, I had a little bitter taste in my mouth, which I don't watch regular cable TV, but just to see the reaction and to see the presentation, to see the bun and lettuce on presentation in these times, it's just really not a lot of bun and lettuce. They just go right to the gutter, or they just go right to the garbage can. They just go right there. So, but I said all that to say that if you haven't seen it, it's fully loaded with, So I think some of the reactions that I saw, and like, there were these are adults, at least people that were 18 years older, this particular age group. Oh my gosh, that's so original. It starts out like, I'm like, what is it? Do you think you're watching Disney's Pixar just because he gave it some animation in the beginning? What's original about that? It's not. It's not original. It's not original. I don't know. I just I hate to say it, but like I said, it's I think it's because of the and I don't mean to sound like an elitist about this in this regard, but I think they've dumbed the masses down so badly that their standard for creativity is even low. I mean, we've all heard different iterations or versions of the book of Genesis. We've heard about deception. We've heard about the beginning and the end and the light and the dark. And so where's the originality in this? I think this kid came up with this concept? Not No, no, I don't. I reject that. And but just the amount of wonderment that you can see in some of these reactionary videos, in the people there are people loving it. They're loving it. Like, I don't know. It was just, I don't know if I was more stunned at the video or stunned at the reactions. And I don't know. But if you can stomach watching that, then you gotta to me, you need a strong stomach to watch that one. And I couldn't believe what I don't know if I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but it was just really overt perversion. And I'm just thinking, okay, so it's kind of like, are the coming out parties still that relevant in that community, that you need to come out, your whole career, right? But I don't know, but you got to bring some kids along this time, right? That's the only difference. You got to, oh, he's just coming out, he's just coming into his own. He had to come out, but he had to bring some kids along. And I think that was the original goal. Get them eating out of your hand, and pat them on the head, and be really, genial and really innocent with them, only to shock them and maybe not even shock them, but maybe subliminally take the kids to another place, take them to the point of no return. Because I've said this before, and I've heard many people say it. I'm not the author of this. I'm not the originator of this. Once you see something, you can't unsee it, and that's going to last. In fact, kid being I haven't been a kid myself. I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if some of these kids didn't seek that particular video out, even if they didn't see it via Entertainment Tonight. They're seeking that video out to be sure they saw what they think they saw, even if they don't know if they don't understand it. They want to be, that if you just think about the tonality of the music, and I haven't broken it down, and I haven't tried to figure out anything arrangement wise in it. But that music is very alluring, and it's like something being piped out. It's going to stick. It's going to stay in the ear. Some things just stay in the ear. And yeah, some things stick with us longer than others. It's just the ear has its own. Even our ear has its own morality. Our ear has things that it'll forgive, and it has things that it will not forgive. My ear is like that, and that's because I'm a musician. But at the same time, everybody, whether you're a musician or not, it's just because of this. It's the tonalities, the harmonies, the overtones. These overtones will hold on to you, and they won't let you go. They That's just what they do. And we won't go into that today. I don't want to go. We're not having a music lesson on the anatomy of sound or tonalities, but I do know that the ear can be forgiving, and there are things that the ear does not forgive, and those are the things that we want to turn off. But that's not the same kind of morality. I say that in this case, I'm saying sometimes there's another level of morality in which it's holding on to you. It's that provocative, deceptive, that the exotic morality, that attribute. It's not going to let you go, and you don't have and you might not have any control. A child may not be able to control that at all. May not have certain discernment, maybe not, but subconsciously it's there and it's holding on to you. I mean, the first time you saw Aladdin, and I'm going back in the days, this is another Disney movie. It's just a Disney movie. Um, if you heard, Arabian Nights, the Arabian Nights, there's something about Arabian Nights that holds on. It won't let you go. There's a darkness in that Arabian Nights. It's exotic, it's erotic, and it's Arabian Nights. Or Scheherazade, same kind of a bit. But I'm sorry, I'm getting on about. Hello, Jax Honeyman X. All right, let me read some comments here before I play this nugget of before I get this nugget going here. We got good comments as always. And the rapper has lots for us today. Rapper says, plus he is dressed in pink. He was getting it. He was covering the spectrum without a doubt. And Austin Al says, yep, at least it gave a warning. Now anything goes. Austin Al says he wore blue hair, looked like Marge Simpson. Thank you, Austin Alice. And the rapper 10,000 says that Awesome Alice, it's ma'am. Oops, don't want to get that one wrong. And Awesome Alice says, well, what I seen, it looked like a Disney movie clip. And The rapper has something. He says, I am upset that the black community treats these entertainers like they are God and they are the norm. Now, I can say that's more than a fair point, and that's a very despicable point. I agree with you. I think and the word I use for that is idolatry. I think there's too much. There's a the sickening amount of idolization in the black community, and I'll even go all the way back to civil rights. There's idolatry there. I didn't say whether it's warranted, needed, or deserved. I believe that's idolatry. And who gives us a lot of these idols? What industry? Is it the entertainment industry or the politicians? I will say the liberals, the progressives. Most of the culture is generated by, it's a smoke screen. It's not. It's generated by, it comes from somebody else. So I try to be careful when I use that word. I try to be, well, especially when it's related to the black community, because I don't think a lot of culture is coming from. It's not organic. It's something somebody else passed on, something somebody else handed down, or somebody else played it out. But does it belong to the performer? I don't know. I wouldn't say so. The rapper says, "I hate Hollywood now more than ever." Yes, and the rapper, to your point, that's where I know exactly what you mean, because you have the Oprah Winfrey's and the now the Gail Kings and all these people that come out and tell people how to think. And just like they sit around with bated breath waiting on Oprah or somebody to tell them. I guess maybe they would wait on her to tell them about this situation. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Or maybe they're going to wait for LeBron James, or they're going to wait for who else is a name dropper. What other name droppers can I drop right about now? They wait. They don't, I'm not saying they're waiting for these people, but they don't think about it. They don't form their own opinions about anything before they just start. Oh, I'm just going to go with this, and these are protected commodities. Like, if Oprah Winfrey, if you say anything about her in front of the black community, it's like a swarm of angry bees will descend on you. And why? Why can't she be criticized? Why? What has she done for anybody that's not in her lot, in her realm, in her uh kingdom, in her elite world? What has she done? But yes, there's way too many idols. I could go to a political, the holy O. That's the Obamas are idolized, even if it's wrong. Even if it's wrong, these people are afraid to say. I don't know if they're afraid, or I just, like I said, there's a darkness or something there's something it's just something that's got a hold on people, and I don't. Like I said, I'm not prepared to say exactly what it is, but it's not good. Even if it's wrong, even if children are the agents of change, it's fine for Michelle Obama to be a part of that, even if it's a detrimental change, or it could be a change that they can't undo, or if she's influencing kids to make decisions about things that they make irresponsible changes in their lives that they may not be able to change, things that are irreparable. But they won't speak, they won't say anything about it. Austin Alice says, I had someone got mad because I brought up the no disclaimer for children and sexual, and they came out of the woodworks and they said I should manage my kids' TV better. I said, how, when this is everywhere now? And Austin Alice says, we need a new button on YouTube for sexual content and warning on what kind of sexual content. Well, it's funny you say that, Austin Alice, because even on YouTube, there is they're so concerned about is this made for kids, and are you 18, or are you of age to listen or watch this content? But yet mainstream TV, you don't get those kinds of, they don't go through those same filters. Why isn't the regular industry held to the same standard in which we are held as content creators on YouTube? I couldn't post anything like that video and not say that it's not for kids. But there again, it's double standard, right? There's standards for us, but not for them. Anarchy Television says the battle for the mind of North America will be fought in the video arena, the video drome. Thank you for that, Anarchy Television. That's interesting. And Proverb Nation says there was a time where a man and a woman laying in separate beds was too much for TV. Yeah, I remember some of those. And Austin Malice says the spirit of Jezebel is alive and well and strong. Yes, very much. And Jack Honey Man X. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure what you're on about, but yeah, hopefully, we'll see you around, or please check out the community standards, the community tab for the best experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. DJ Vision Barnett, hello, how are you? And the rapper 10,000 says the Bible warns about worshiping false idols. And it seems to be we're loaded with them. It seems like I'm going to go with a leftist kind of an analogy. It's beyond the kitchen table. As soon as they leave the kitchen table, all the morality is gone, or the compass, the moral compass disappears when the idol shows up. The morality from around the kitchen table, it just folds up like a paper bag in the rain. I'm just saying. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't. It hasn't always been this bad. It hasn't always been this bad. I have to say, this is the worst that I've ever seen it. I think it's only going to, and I don't mean to be negative Nelly here, but I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. Because people's minds are just split out of here. Awesome Alice says in school, they asked me who I idolize, like who I look up to. I said at my height, I look up to everyone and have no idols. I believe in God. And way to go, Awesome Alice. You had that kind of perception back then. That's nice. Rapper 10,000 says, plus there are too many negatives in Black culture that supports bad behavior, even murder. Look at what happened in DC and other places recently. I'll have to check into that. I'm telling you, it's like one wave before you can stand up. There's already another wave of hitting you. It's just. Anarchy Television says you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. The rapper is responding to Hooper is guilty of being involved in those pedo rings. Mm. Well, and I think, but honestly, I think it's no different from what I was describing about was Lil Nas X. I believe that generally, I think most people in Hollywood they start out on a humble level, or they kind of reel you in. They kind of bait and switch you. They kind of bait and switch you. And then before you know it, you've already been, it's too late. You can't come out of it. But I guess it's what they call it, programming. Is that right? Is it programming? Television programming? I mean, they've been pumping things into people's homes for decades. And even for me, they've been pumping these things out for years and years and years, and it's only going to continue. And I used to look at people funny back in the day when they say, we don't, my kids, they're not, people would talk about their kids. Oh, my kids, they're not allowed to watch TV. We don't watch TV. And I'm thinking, wow, I think that's probably that's probably the smartest thing. You know, looking back at it, that's probably the smartest thing I've heard. And Austin Mouse says they have a show called The Feed. I think it was an eye opener what they really want to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to the nugget here. So let's get to the nugget. So if it wasn't enough, if the Lil Nas call me by, let me get this right. Is it call me by your name? I think Montero is something in there. I don't know. I don't want to get too. I don't want to memorize this stuff. I really don't. However, if that wasn't enough, there's a product that took this a step further. So I'm going to share that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to share this screen with you now. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Actually, before we do that, let's just have a little bit of engagement here. I'll be right back with you. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. So what we're going to do, go ahead and share right now. I was going to say, if it wasn't enough that, you know, Lil Nas seems to be, you know, bringing his, he seems to be, you know, down for whatever. Is that too 1990s for anybody? Yikes. All right, so this is not the right, I'm sure this is the right thing here. Okay, hang on just 1 second. Let me correct it. Let me correct this. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. And thanks so much to the Lockhart Perspective for sharing out the stream. I really appreciate it. And who knows, the hack checkers might not like what I'm doing, but, you know, we're going to do what we do and go with it. All right, so we're going to talk about, so apparently Lil Nas, if the Lil Nas X, if the video wasn't enough, he had to back it up with a product. He's got to give you a sample of what, I dare I say a taste. He had to give you a taste of what he's on about. All right, there we go. I said it. That was bad, right? But okay, so I'm going to share this article with you guys and give you some full screen on this. The response to this speaks once again to what I was saying earlier. So apparently, he had a shoe, he had a product. The shoe was selling at $1,018, which there's some symbolism and things with that goes along with that. The shoe was going out for $1,018, which is also associated with Luke chapter 10, verse 18. And that's what this article is. This is what this article is about. In fact, Miley Cyrus was seen. You know, she was letting you know where she is, letting you know what she's picking up. All right. So according to this, Lil Nas X Satan shoe made with 1 drop of human blood sold out in under a minute, bringing it nearly $700,000. Now call me crazy. I wonder whose blood was used, who was sacrificed for this blood. You know, this is not quite. This is worse than the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So, if you having a look here, there's already a controversy about who did it, who screwed the pooch. I guess, did Nike do it? Did Nike have a role in it? Da 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 da. Apparently, some other company is taking the, Nike's denying that they were a part of this. However, you can see this image here. So, we'll see what happens. But as you can see, there's all kinds of things. There's a pentagram here. As you can see, 6666, 666. Not enough sixes in there. You can see here, Luke 10:18. And this is a limited edition. They were only selling 666 pairs of shoes. This particular shoe, okay? All right. So again, got your reiteration here. Now this is a collaboration with MSCHF. And that's they're the scapegoat. So Nike's trying to get out of it. They're like, oh, yeah, we're not associated with this or that. So that's what you're getting there. So according to this, Lil Nas X's shoe was made with one drop of human blood, sold out in under 1 minute. The Brooklyn-based company MSCHF, which made the shoes, confirmed the news to Insider. The shoe knockoff The shoe knocks off the Nike Air Max 97, but Nike said it does not endorse the shoe. Okay, so we're going to go on here for a little bit more info. You see how dark this is? I don't care where you think you stand on anything. This is dark. It's dark to me. Even if it doesn't look dark, it feels dark. The singer Lil Nas X's quote Satan shoe end quote made with one drop of human blood sold out in under 1 minute. The company told Insider. The Brooklyn-based startup MSCHF released the shoe on March 26th and said each one individually numbered 666 pairs would contain 60 cc's ink and one drop of human blood. The company released the 666 shoes for $1,018 each as a nod to the Bible verse, Luke 10:18, quote, so he told them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven, end quote. MSCHF co-founder Daniel Greenberg confirmed the shoes sold out in under a minute, but did not reveal whether the release was the company's most profitable. At the listed price, the release adds up to nearly $700,000 in sales. The shoe knocks off the Nike Air Max 97, but Nike had no involvement in the shoe. Quote, we do not have a relationship with Lil Nas X or MSCHF. Nike did not design or release these shoes, and we do not endorse them, end quote, Nike said in a statement to the New York Times. Greenberg told the Times 16 members gave up blood to go into the collaboration with Lil Nas X. Okay, according to this, the Insider's Paige Leskin previously reported MSCHF has gone viral for selling unusual items like a $10 toaster bath bomb, an app for making stock investments based on astrological signs, and Nike sneakers filled with holy water. MSCHF co-founder in 2016, a former BuzzFeed employee, Gabriel Whaley, received $11.5 million in funding as of January 2020. The company's Push Party app said it has a valuation of $200 million following an undisclosed deal with the venture capital firm Founders Fund. So they're giving you a little bit of backstory on that company. Oi, 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 oi. Lockhart perspectives here. Thanks so much for coming in. Thanks so much for coming. Okay, so the Lockhart perspective says, didn't Nike sue that cat? I think something's going on. I think something's a brew. Austin Alice says, yes, they filed the suit today. See, that's the thing. It's like, what is it? It's like you throw the rock and you run, right? And you hide your hand, right? But I mean, but Nike doesn't have the best reputation themselves. I mean, what are they doing? Sweatshop labor with kids in Asia, right? But look, I mean, can you guys smell the trail here? I talked about LeBron James. I think he's pretty much, these are corporate communists in my mind. So why would Lil Nas be any different? They're willing to merge all these industries. to carry out an agenda. They are. And they just are. I mean, I don't think I'm making this up. If I am, you can reprove me. But we do that around here. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm just thinking, okay, so what the kids, maybe the kids working in the sweatshop, or, and some things you just can't dress it up. You just can't. And Osmel says, and the blood came from the staff, which they said they donated their blood for the sake of art. Ay, ay, ay. And Ronnie Man says, I saw Satan fall. And Lockhart Perspective says, see, that's how they know the folk gonna eat a dot dot. Well, you know where I'm going in. I appreciate it. And Anarchy Television says, like any good drug dealer, the first one's free, but everything after that is going to cost you big time. Thank you for that, Anarchy Television. Ay, ay, ay. And Awesome Alice says, it's flat out evil. Yes, indeed. Indeed, indeed. Good night. The Lockhart Perspective says, night, night, y'all. Good night. Lockhart Perspective, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And Anarchy says, from what I understand, this whole story is actually a lie from the get-go. And the rapper says, Big Tech had a hearing in Congress last week and they lied about the censorship issue and misinformation. Congress, to me, I've expressed my more than disappointment or the failure of Congress many times on this show. And yeah, I just find that, I don't even know if I believe at this point. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I believe that they believe what they say they believe. They just we just don't have no, dare I say, nobody holds the line on anything. These people can see all of this stuff coming. You guys remember the HR 666666 by Bobby Rush out of Chicago. That was, the contact tracing and the funding that they knew the government was going to provide in this time. That came out last year. That came out, yeah, it came out last year. But of course, that's why you see Cuomo and Tracy Edwards out of Councilwoman Tracy Edwards out of New York, with all these preachers and these people in the background, because they've already been enticed and they've already been offered for cash, because we need Cuomo, right? They've already been offered cash. So, they're doing what they do. Some people are selling people out, for the lack of a better word. I'll go with that. And I already talked about Tracy Edwards basically advocating for illiterates, functional illiterates. Hey, don't question anything. I go and do my cancer treatment every week, or I'm paraphrasing this, but I don't question anything. I just stick out my arm. In this day and age, it's so funny. We watched those 5 videos from the Hip Hop Public Health out of New York, and they talked about, one of the videos said that nobody's getting away with being misinformed anymore, or lies, because everything is available on the internet. Okay, so then why do so many people just roll over and accept things? If that's true, if the Hip Hop Public Health acknowledges that there's information out there, then why would Tracy Edwards out of New York advocate for the people of New York to don't question anything, don't look at anything? This is not, it's not the bag of potato chips, or not the box of cereal for your kids. This is actually, it's a drug. I'm not a virologist, or, but I can say it's a drug. So, I mean, she's basically, don't read anything. Just do it. Just do it. And I'm not surprised. What I'm surprised is that there is so much information out there, and many people are just willing to go along with whatever. You got to get these people to co-sign on this, co-sign on everything. I mean, they've rolled out every. I think they rolled out just about every gimmick in the book. They've rolled out hip hop. They've rolled out a female. They rolled out a female artist on that. Rolled out a male artist on that. They're rolling out the councilman, which she's the current out of New York. They're rolling out the. She's also the current NAACP president. So yeah, it's I think some of the first words when she said we need you, Cuomo. I was like, I never thought hear anybody say that with a straight face. I mean, it's a big industry, and that brings me to another video. It's a big industry. I kind of want to play this video. It's not my video, it's somebody else's video, and it's actually quite. It's in your face. It's in your face, and people are just in denial, just a state of denial. And let's see, read some comments here. Oh my God, Austin Alice. This is wait. This is Austin Alice. I'm going backwards. I'm on the wrong one. Proverb Nation says the sports or artist or avatar hides as an avatar hides what the head of the brands are doing. And the rapper says, I hate big tech and I hate the House Democrats. The senators are our only hope. And Austin Allen says, I call them Congress show trial like good old Stalin trials, just bodies haven't dropped yet. And yes, Alice, yeah, I haven't seen, I've been looking for some information or curious about it. She says they are already talking about a fourth stimulus. And those mocktail travel cards to go against HIPAA laws on patient privacy or not having to disclose medical information. Yeah, whatever happened to HIPAA? It's so funny what's going on. You can look back in history and see so many things that there's privacy. See, the cost of privacy is going to be. I don't know what you're going to have to pay to have privacy these days. I think the elite are going to be the only ones with privacy, and you can see it right now. If you can be violated in all of these ways, if your body can be violated, if your finances can be violating by them having access to it, being able to go into your account, then what else will they not have access to? It's like they want access to everything. You will have no privacy, none. And Anarchy says, I haven't gotten anything. I'm non-essential. The rapper says, we who oppose Fauci and the mocktail are not rolling out misinformation. Of course he did. Of course he did. The rapper 10,000. He's been flopping. He's a flopper. But the thing about it is, even when I see those blazing, the blazing political theater, eventually I'll start to see those people that basically will singe him, singe Fauci, and then they'll go later on. They'll end up soft. They'll soft concede on some level the next time you see them. It's just you just can't. To me, you can't trust any of these people. It's just not. I just you can't. You just I don't know. Who can you trust? Kathy Latour is here. How are you? It's nice to see you, Kathy Latour. Glad you're here. And Austin Alice says the Florida governor isn't going to mandate the travel cards or mandatory mocktails. He said He just wanted to give complete access to the jab. Hello, AZ Infidels. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, so I really appreciate it, guys. So that was my nugget of darkness there. But I'm just thinking, I didn't want to burn too many minutes on it because I think that this guy, Lil Nas X, I think he's getting a lot more. I think because of the reaction, he might be getting more. He might be getting more publicity for the reaction to this thing than I think it's just going to people are going to be, the kids are going to rebel. They're going to go out and buy this stuff, or they're going to go out and watch it, or I don't know. I think it's going to get the opposite effect, unfortunately. Yeah, they don't have any integrity, the rapper 10,000. They really don't, because they don't want to incriminate themselves. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but who's going to hold them accountable? Without any enforcement, what does a law mean? What does it mean? If you haven't noticed that people are already using they're using the UN term rule of law rather than people. They're not. I haven't heard anybody talk about the Constitution. Like, not so much. Like, they're using it less and less. It's being replaced. And pretty soon, I think they'll try to, it'll be so perverted that you won't recognize it anymore. And it's already been done. It's just totally unconstrained. As long as it fits their agenda. As long as it fits their agenda, that's what they're doing. And so here's the other thing. I did want to go into this one, but I'm almost tempted to go into it. It's late. It's late. It's like 1:30 on the East Coast right now. And I did see some footage. I did see some footage with Ted Cruz going down to the actual border, and there again, they had somebody down there to subvert any type of press, or like what was that? About 18 members or whatnot went down, and of course you're going to hear 18 different versions of what was seen down there. And let me see if I was trying not to get into that because I came in on a dark nugget. So it was, I think I'll save that. I'll save it for later. However, I do want to, and then we'll talk about, we'll do some other things like tomorrow on the next segment. We'll do some other things on the next segment because Gates has got his own. Gates is throwing his 2 cents into the situation, which I find that to be it's lining up exactly. It seems to be lining up with what he says. I don't ignore what he says. I don't ignore what he's doing because I think it's relevant. It's more relevant than people want to admit, just like many other things. It's very relevant. So we're going to take a quick little word for our patrons and our sponsors, and we'll have Twitch on a roll, and then we'll have and then I'll say salute, and we'll get out of here on your Tuesday morning, your Monday morning / Tuesday. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Thanks so much for tuning in.
guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And Ronnie Manson is back to work for me. Have a good morning, good people. Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do, Ronnie Man. I really appreciate you for coming in. I appreciate all your work here and being a gold standard stripe around here. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your shift. Thank you. And AZ says BB phone. The rapper 10,000 says the American people will revolt. And AZ Infidel says look up medicalization. Will do. And Austin Alice says that's why I just listen to old school music. I like old school music. I really do. That's what I prefer. Call me crazy, but that's what I prefer. And AZ Infidel says Trump called out Fauci and what's her face? Was it Burks? Yeah, I swear they're on like a whole. I swear the news, the mainstream media is on like a 9-12 month lag or something themselves. I think they're slowing us down. They're slowing us down here on YouTube. And yes, I'm seeing some of the large YouTubers talk about the lag here. And so, not to say that I need that that I need that kind of reinforcement or validation, but I think there's something to be said by that. I don't know if it's intentional that this is going on, or they're not doing the maintenance, or I'm not sure what's going on. What could be causing that? Are there more people on YouTube? I don't know. Or is this just another mechanism or, censorship? I don't know. To mess us up. So I really appreciate everyone. And Austin Alice says they don't have Trump no more, so they have to now look at themselves. They really miss him, don't they? They really do. It's a boring, it's a hard way to make a living without him. All right, I really appreciate it. And Ronnie Man says it's a ploy to get everyone to switch to 5G. 5G. I almost said 5G. 5G. Yeah, yeah. Someone said once that the 2020 agenda, the 2021 agenda was pretty outrageous and pretty evil, and I believed it then, but certainly now, it's pretty bad. All right, guys, I want to go through and say hi to everybody because I could certainly go into some other things, but it is a bit late, and I guess I'll give you a mini preview. We'll talk about Bill Gates. I think Bill Gates' quest to block the sun via Sweden is, I think that's he's funding that. And what else we have? What else? You name it. There's some other things. Yeah, here we go. And yeah, here we go. Ronnie Man, thank you so much once again for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Anthony Scioli, thank you so much for all that you do to support the channel around here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. And Melinda Ann Burns, it's always nice to see you in the chat. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Thank you so much. And we have Anarchy Television. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all that you do. And we also have the Rapper 10,000. Thank you so much for joining us. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. And Proverb Nation, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And also, we have Awesome Alice, who's always awesome. Thank you, Awesome Alice, for coming in and keeping us on our toes. And who else do we have? And the Lockhart Perspective. Thank you so much, Lockhart Perspective, for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Joan 8003927. I appreciate you for coming in. I hope this was I hope this was a good experience for you. I think this is the first time I've seen you here, but thank you so much. And who else do we have? We had Jack Honeyman X. Thank you, Jack Honeyman X. Thank you so much for being over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And DJ Vision Barnett, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I think that might do it. I want to make sure I don't miss Anarchy Television. I mean, not Anarchy Television. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for all you do, as well as AZ Infidel. AZ, it's nice to have you around. I appreciate it. Nice to see you. And Kathy Latour. And this is becoming my nightly prop is when I wear my sunglasses at night. I don't know who always gives us the throwback reference in here, but it's definitely a good one. So I won't wear them too long, so not to worry. Awesome Alice says, funny how they roasted Trump but afraid to roast Biden. It's weird watching the news. Yep. It's they I don't know. I think they're running out of material. They're pretty low on material right about now. They are dealing with withdrawal. Yeah. Yikes. Okay, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Screen with Autumn. I look forward to seeing you guys again. I'm thinking it will be tomorrow. It's a good chance it'll be tomorrow. We'll see. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream in the comments section on a video, on a test only if like this one, or in a Moonlight stream. Thanks so much, and have a great Tuesday morning, or enjoy the rest of your Monday night.